How you doing, new dad? Hope you're doing well. If you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering why take paternity leave or what the benefits of paternity leave are, and so I'm going to give you two benefits of paternity leave. And if it's your first time joining, my name is John. I'm the creator of this New Dad's YouTube channel. I am a new dad myself. I have a 2.5-year-old son who's currently in preschool, and I have a daughter who is 10 days old. Today marks the last day of my paternity leave, and it's been a whirlwind of a ride, and I want to share with you two benefits that I gained during this time off of work. So we're going to just jump right in. I have my notes here, by the way, so if I keep looking down, I apologize. It's this is live. I don't have time to post edit for this, so bear with me. So the first benefit of paternity leave is that you're just building a foundation. This foundation is what your family is gonna grow off of. All the huge structures out there have a solid foundation, right? And if you don't have a solid foundation, you can't really build, a nice, big, tall, strong structure. And so, you're building a foundation. If this is your second time around for paternity leave, you're building a foundation with your first child. You're spending time with him or her. You're letting them know that, they are still very loved, very cared for. You're spending quality time with them. You're taking, like for me and my little guy, we like to go out and get the mail, and it can, it's only like 100 yards away, but it could take up to 30 minutes. Just, walking there, stopping to look at the trees, the rocks, the steps, the leaves, the bushes, playing around with the key and trying to open different mailboxes. You're just supporting your first child, letting them know they're loved, and that yes, even though they may have less time, the time they do have and your attention for them is undivided, is they're still very loved, and any sort of like issues or challenges with hanging out with them is not because of baby number two, right? Even though it may be, but at least my perspective is that as parents, we're called to just put our technology aside, put our work aside as much as possible, even put YouTube aside as much as possible, to let your kid know that they're loved, they're cared for, that you'll always have their year, that they will always have your year, as much as appropriate. And so that's kind of the first foundation I feel like you're building during paternity leave, because you have all this time off work, but you might have your first kid running around all day, and you're there, blocking, tackling, hand in hand with your partner, taking care for your firstborn's needs, and what I found is that when I give attention to my firstborn, he throws less tantrums, he's more cooperative, he's not bidding for our attention, which happens very subtly, and so that's kind of the first foundation. The second foundation you're building is with your newborn, by holding her, holding him, doing skin to skin, building that bond. I'm a true believer that the stronger your bond is with your kid, the more levels of care you'll have, and I don't know what the stigma out there is with bonding with your kid. I don't know if I'll speak for myself. I thought that when my first kid came out, that I would immediately be in love, that I would look into his eyes and I would be like, oh my God, like I'm so in love, I'll do anything for this kid. And that was very much not the case, actually. Actually, his eyes was closed, and I didn't feel that special bond until like 13 months. It took me like over a year to, over diaper changes, over holding him, over, carrying him, to really feel that like I was this baby's dad and that I would do anything for this baby. It took me over a year. So, if you're within that newborn to like year-old phase, it's if it's normal for me, it's normal for you, right? To not feel that special bond with your kid. And so the paternity leave, it definitely doesn't build that close bond or whatever within the 2 weeks. I took 2 weeks. But it builds a foundation, the fact that, it builds into your rhythm that you're going to hold your baby every single day, or maybe not. I am. The fact that I do have 2 kids and I'm going to try to love them equally, even though I know that may not be the case. Spoiler alert for future videos. And so Yeah, just helping with burping the baby, being involved with feedings in that way, changing diapers, wearing a Solly baby and carrying the baby around. You're building that foundation, and eventually, hopefully, you'll grow and learn to cherish this child as much as you cherish the first one. And so that's the second foundation. The third foundation is you're building a foundation with your partner, right? Your spouse, your significant other. Um, you know, um, it's I mean, I guess I am the traditional. I don't know if it's even called normal, so apologies if I'm being insensitive. But my wife, she gave birth naturally to our second child, and so she's recovering. She had stitches, and so she's having a rough time, not a rough time, but it's recovery. It's recovery from a major surgery, and so she's on medication for her pain. It's hard for her to go to the bathroom, like you might experience. It's hard. It's a hard recovery. They're on medication. It's hard to go to the bathroom. The hormone levels are stabilizing. There's work at home piling up, and if you're like me, it's you're trying your best, but it's hard to keep up with all the house stuff and just everything, just life in general. And so it's a tough, or it can be a tough time. And so all this time off that you have from work, hopefully you're putting back into writing your wife significant messages, or your significant other thoughtful messages, giving her a card, basically the 5 love languages. So if you haven't read that, pick it up. It's a great read. I'll throw a link up there. Figure out your partner's love language and just do that. Take advantage of their love language. Exploit it to the max. For my wife, it's acts of service, and so I try to do as much service as I can around the house: dishes, laundry, cooking, and I'll drop the ball, of course. I mean, no one's perfect, but that's a power tip right there for you. So yeah, so that's the first benefit, is building the foundation for your family. Just an analogy, I guess. The stronger your foundation, the taller, the more fancy, the more bigger your structure can be, right? But if you don't build that foundation, it's going to be hard to have a strong bond with a family. And maybe if you don't care for that, then that's fine too. But if you do want to build a strong bond, a strong family, strong foundation, I think it all starts with being of service, doing your partner's love language, finding out your kids' love languages, and making them feel super special. The second benefit of paternity leave is, let me check my notes. So it's a tricky one. It's one that snuck up on me. It's perspective. So as you have a day-to-day schedule, ritual, whatever you want to call it, routine. And for me, it's I work a 9-to-5 job, so it's it's get up in the morning, get breakfast, get the little guy ready, send him to preschool, and go to work, and then come home, eat dinner, put him to bed, etc. And so, day to day, I'm just thinking okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? Okay, great. It's Friday. Okay, it's the weekend. Okay, let's reset the house. Oh, shoot, it's Sunday. Let's meal prep. Let's go grocery shopping. And then off you go again, right? And so, for me, anyways, there isn't much time to hit pause on life and zoom out a little bit. Get above the trees and just zoom out and think about things like, okay, well, where are we in life? Where do we want to go? When we retire or when we're older, what do we want to say? What do we want to accomplish with this life? And so traditionally, over Thanksgiving or over the holidays, you have time to kind of zoom out and stop work, maybe, hopefully, and just think about where do you want to go with your family. But during paternity leave, that's a great time to do that as well. It's for me, my case was a little bit different this year just because I was working through some things at work. But as much as I could, I didn't not work, but I just try to just think about like, okay, where do I want my family to be? You know, where do I want to be in 5, 10 years when I retire, etc. And you know, are we taking the steps to get there? You know, and so the benefit of paternity leave is that it buys you time away from work to think about these things. And you know, you can think about you know, just what kind of education, what kind of childhood do you want to give to your kids? Do you want that small town feel? Do you want the city feel? And then, you know, just think about the logistics steps to get there, you know. And so I don't think you could get that if you're, you know, in your routine, in your day-to-day routine. And so that's kind of the second benefit that paternity leave affords you. You could do all of that while you're holding your newborn and doing skin to skin and bonding. Yeah, that was the second benefit that kind of snuck up on me. There's a bunch of other, you know, more logistical benefits, like, you know, anticipating when your newborn is going to cry, when they need to eat, getting used to their sleeping schedules, and all of that. And, you know, I think you'll experience more of that during your first kid. A second kid, you know, just you kind of know what to expect. If you haven't watched the paternity leave, the other benefits of paternity leave, I'll link it up here, where I sit with my friend Andrew, and you know, we just talk about paternity leave and how it helped him. But yeah, that's about all I had. If you resonate with this video, please comment down below. If you're on paternity leave, say hi, just drop a line, say hi, you know, say yup, say paternity leave, say something. Let me know that you're there. If you have a benefit that I didn't mention, please drop it in the comments below, and it'll be very valuable for other new dads out there. I think that's all I had for this video. Thank you so much. Please hit the thumbs up if you liked the video, the thumbs down if you didn't like it. Consider subscribing if you want more content for new dads, or if you have a soft spot for new dads, if you're a self-identified new dad. Keep crushing it, you're doing great, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.